And away we go. It is the Nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. They are back open after a nice little holiday break. So make sure you get down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. Or just walk in and play the trumpet. Or pump it up on the trumpet. And that'll get you 15% too, or get delivery. They deliver most of the 275 loop. If you're out in the outskirts, you might be out of the range, but for the most part, you can get it mostly wherever you live inside 275. So there you go. Let's get it started. We've got a special guest tonight. We don't do special guests a lot, but today I had a previous commitment and I couldn't make it to Brent Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, showing up on campus to talk to the media a little bit. Aaron couldn't make it either because he has a baby smaller than Justin's. Justin was there, so I sent him a text and said, hey, could you join us tonight? And we'll pepper you with questions about your experience. Your 12 minutes with Brent Yormark?
That's right. 12 minutes in heaven with Brent Yormark.
You went viral, like your stuff is splattered all over the internet. I saw national.
That's national. The word you go with.
Yeah, national folks tweeting, quote tweeting. Blah, blah, blah,
I like tweeting.
Tweeting, that's good. That's a new term right there.
Tweeting.
You got to trademark
that's
that.
Too close to some other. Right on safe. Quote tweeting. Your work today, so we're gonna have you here.
It was really just them quote tweeting me transcribing what Brett Yormark said.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
I'll take the engagement, I guess.
You were Twitter famous today. And since we know somebody Twitter famous, we're gonna have him on the show.
King of the Queets.
King of Queets.
That's the name for your new sitcom.
Oh, man.
King of Queets. This has gone off the rails. We haven't even started yet. What was your overall impression of the new Big 12 boss?
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't kidding. 12 minutes. Like he was, they were moving him along today, so he came in and got in front of us and answered our questions and took everything, and then he was kind of out of there just as quick. So it's not like got much time to stand and talk to him, but just from asking around and our interaction with him today, he's very confident. He's very good at being a
very confident,
successful person. Like he's clearly comfortable after, however long he's been just paving streets of gold wherever he seems to work. Like he's feeling comfortable in that. He seems very comfortable being a rich person too. Which I think is.
So we've got a lot. He's a lot like me. It's a shame I wasn't there.
That's right. But no, I mean, he was kind of as advertised in terms of really sharp. Everyone I talked to said he's very transparent and upfront, and I think for the most part, for someone in that position, I think he was. I think he answered some tough questions and put some quotes out there that most commissioners or kind of high level administrators like that probably would have just shied away from. It's a sliding scale, right, when we talk about honesty with coaches or
sure.
Commissioners, things
Luke
like
Fickell
that.
Admitted yesterday he lied to us.
No, he didn't lie. He did not tell us his true feelings, as he told us at the end.
There's a difference.
That's right. To Luke Fickell, there's a difference. But yeah, I think for someone in that position, he was pretty straightforward and transparent and definitely confident in the Big 12 and kind of the direction they're going.
Were you surprised at all with just the ESPN Fox deal and all of that? Is there going to be anybody potentially as somebody else, like a third party, entering into that conversation? Or do you think it really is just ESPN and Fox that he's dealing with?
So if it won't be able to be a third party until down the road, basically the contract that they have right now is with Fox and ESPN, and it's up 24-25, which is basically UC's third season in the Big 12. All they're doing is, in all those contracts, there's like an exclusive window where you can negotiate with the current rights holders. Like the Pac-12 just had it with ESPN. the Big Ten had it with Fox and all that kind of stuff. So that would have been in like February 2024, he said. All they did was just move up that, which my guess it was Brett Yormark calling ESPN and Fox and saying like, hey, do you guys want to talk about this?
Yeah, well, this isn't the exclusive rights window, right? They're just talking now. They
Well,
haven't opened up the exclusive rights window.
They technically have just moved it up. The sense I got was like, because he said even if they talk right now and they don't come to an agreement, he said first of all they don't become a free agent then
right.
It just
goes back. That's the exclusive rights window that if you open it up, you have to close it.
Yeah, I mean, he basically said if something didn't work out here, that original February 2024 window, that's not negated. That is then the next time it would come up, and that would still then be ESPN and Fox. So they're really, the Pac-12 just did it too. They're basically just saying like, we're willing to talk about this earlier if you want to. And the networks are probably like, yeah, sure, we'll talk about it. And, he didn't necessarily say this exactly, but the reason the Big 12 is doing this is because the Pac-12 is essentially doing the same thing. And they, there's value maybe in going first or having the opportunity to go first.
Were you surprised that he just blatantly was like, we're looking west? Like, we want all 4 time zones. We'd like, this is what's going on in the war room, and we're just going to tell you.
So I was talking to some people like, before today, and they were saying that that's something they had kind of heard like him wanting to do, maybe not heard him say directly, but like from talking to people like, oh, I think, his thing is he kind of wants to go west. And then he just kind of came out and said it today, which I wasn't expecting him to be that straightforward. I don't know. There was anything else, he was honest about like, I met with ESPN last week and I'm talking to Fox this week. And he was pretty straightforward in his answers, but that was kind of the one thing that he basically gave up voluntarily that I was like, I'm kind of surprised he just put that out there publicly. And I would have to assume if he's putting that out there publicly with us today, like it's something that he's talked to universities and stakeholders and kind of important people in the Big 12 about a lot prior to this.
Yeah.
As a guy who's been kind of at the helm of NASCAR, at the helm of Rock Nation and all of that, is there a world where you see him not ending up with an amazing deal where we're all just kind of like, how did you even pull that off?
I mean, I get the sense he's confident that he's going to do that. And, like I said, his track record in this area, the sports business realm is pretty good. But I'm not, stupid enough to try and predict any of the conference realignment stuff. I have no clue. I do think he's confident in kind of whatever they have going on right now. I do think the Big 12, I think you can make the argument at the other 3, the non, super conference, Big Ten, SEC, I think you can make the argument they're in the best position because the ACC is tied into that grant of rights and the Pac 10, 12, whatever is just got rated and can get rated more. And I think he understands that. And so I think in that sense, he's working from a position of strength, but I'm kind of curious to see how it ends up. The other thing he said, aside from wanting to expand west, is like he just wants to make the brand of the Big 12 bigger and more national. And so, someone like him who kind of has a strong background in New York, like I'm curious what that's going to look like from a branding perspective. But how it all ends up, like I said, I'm not going to try and predict conference realignment.
Well, don't tell the Johns and Howie Mandel that the Big 12 is in the best position because they won't agree with you there. And yes, I know it's not Howie Mandel, but we established
it's also technically my boss, so I appreciate you, Aaron.
It's fine.
He said it. It's one of those things in the Bearcat Journal universe that kind of sticks.
I said it wrong. I said it wrong one time, and
he said it wrong one time, and I was like,
"Oh, that was it. It wasn't like a joke. You actually said it wrong."
No, he just said it wrong. He was in a rant. It was in one of Aaron's I'm angry things, and he's like Howie Mandel, and I was like, Howie Mandel, and he was like, I'm going with it. And I was like, all right, he's Howie Mandel now.
I can see Howie Mandel being a conference commissioner. He's I think he's got that.
Have you spoke to Dan Simon today?
No, I assume he's on a yacht or in a bunker somewhere working some back channels. Yeah,
he's very busy. We have a hard time getting a hold of him ourselves. On the UC front, he seems like an honest guy. So what vibe did you get from his take of getting his first real look at the University of Cincinnati, where he says he applied to college and ended up in Indiana?
Yeah, which probably someone at Cincinnati's kicking themselves. They didn't maybe offer a little bit bigger of a
Dumbass.
scholarship or something like that. But yeah, he said all the right things. It's not like he's going to get up there and be like, good thing they're building that
I don't know about
indoor
this
practice
place.
facility because man, what they have now sucks. But
What'd you think of Cincinnati? Kind of mid. It's kind of mid.
But
they tied 14 times this year.
I think he was, I think he was honest, and people asked about, we asked about Fickle and what he thought of him, and it was pretty clear that he's like, yeah, you guys got a good coach. And, he said he thinks it's one of the best programs in the country right now, which I think a lot of people would say sounds like hyperbole, but they literally just went to the college football playoff. So I think in that sense, he's very excited about what Cincinnati brings, from that perspective. And I also get the sense that he's very excited about how excited Houston, Cincinnati, UCF, BYU fans are to be in the Big 12. I think that kind of helps pump up the brand a little bit too.
How much taller were you than Brett Yormark?
Yeah, he's not a tall man, but what he might lack in physical stature, he makes up for in
Confidence.
financial
I like
and
that.
powerful stature. He's fit
Confidence.
though. Like,
well, I was going to ask that. My follow up to that was John.
We were on the same vibe until the fit part. They asked me if I walked on water over the weekend. I was like, "Have you ever seen me?" No.
Was John Cunningham or Brett Yormark the more sharper dressed man?
So they actually were wearing they were basically matching. I think UC put out they're both wearing light blue suits.
Yeah.
And yeah, John Cunningham's a tall, fit guy too, but Brett Yormark looks like, he could, if somebody messed with him, he wouldn't have his bodyguard, which he probably has. He'd be able to take care of himself.
I think you've got a bit of a man crush.
No. Just Aaron's asking the questions.
You've described him as rich, powerful, fit, confident. I mean,
these are not opinions. These are
these
are facts that I'm stating.
You would have swiped right. Just kind of what the sense I've got from you.
This was the last time we ever had Justin Williams.
just putting good things out for Brett, in case he ever wants to hire me, since Aaron might have got me fired by cracking jokes about
those were my
boss.
words, not yours. I know we've been talking an awful lot about Brett, but I know you were also at the stadium. There's been a lot of renovations to the stadium. Can you tell us a little bit about what you saw while you were down there today?
Yeah, they're still working on those field level suites, which they do look cool. I think they're going to be, nice. Maybe you were like me. I was trying to kind of picture it when they first talked about it. I don't know how they're going to fit these things in down here. Aside from Chad, tying himself to the railroad tracks down there because they're taking his spot.
I'm not leaving.
Maybe it would be a little small, but they're still working on those.
On Saturday, I've got things planned.
They look good, and then the team tweeted out. I think Dan Horde did too. A picture of some of these big decals they got up, and they have Dez, Sauce, and Kobe, and those look really cool. And I think was a good, quick way for them to find a way to kind of pay homage to the team last year and those guys.
Second round.
Kobe's pick, put us in the Ring of Honor.
Second round pick Brian Cook would like a word.
They were
second round pick Alec Pierce would like a word.
Oh, he would like a word.
So they were testing the run. Looked like they're working on the scoreboard, testing some things for Saturday. My guess is this season we get a lot of here's what recent Bearcats draft picks have done in the NFL this season. Highlights, during timeouts, during halftime, stuff like that.
Only 3 of them got giant decals.
9 of them got drafted.
There was somebody was asking, all right, how do you kind of narrow it down? I think if you're picking 3, those are probably the top 3 that you would pick.
Okay.
I'm open to discussion, but
I mean, second round picks Alec Pierce and Brian Cook.
They would like a word.
I'm just saying, but if you could only pick 3, which one of the guys you taking away?
That wasn't what we asked. We didn't ask that. This is our show, Justin.
This show's a little different than the other ones that we do.
All right, fair enough.
Somebody asked me tonight if I was going on with Alec Frank anytime soon. What's that like?
Hey, The man. He's
I
working
love
it.
Alec. Alec's a good kid. He's
Believe
working
it's
hard.
Alex.
I know.
Stewie, Howie, just saying.
This is what we, Dan Simon, this is what we do here. Right? Like, it is what it is.
Alex, he's working it. That's for sure.
I appreciate Alex. And I give him a hard time, but he knows I love him. How are the dishes?
There are a couple waiting on me. Again, I make time for my beloved BCJ guest appearance.
Justin, Rachel goes back to work on Monday.
Oh no.
11-hour days.
Like to work, not like
Right.
to work.
Not like the way we work.
No, she's
Right, to work.
She's a pharmacist. 11-hour days.
So is it just you, or you got an au pair coming in?
Do you think I pay him enough for an au pair?
I thought maybe she could maybe pitch in on some of that.
It should be interesting.
These are going to get a lot more fun starting next week.
I have no advice. I wish I did, but I have no advice. It's just a survival.
If you did, it might be for the baby, not for me.
I did this. Like Kelly used to work 10-hour days, and I was home, and she used to sit at the door at like 4:00 and be like, "I want my mom." Get ready. We're gonna need video content. Like back then, 2010, not everything was video content.
Right.
We're gonna need some video content of your struggles being a dad with your daughter that just dominates the scene.
11 hours with Chad's video camera glasses on.
They only do 30 seconds at a time.
Oh,
we're gonna need more than that. All right, man. We appreciate you coming on. I don't want to keep you too long, but good stuff. Appreciate you chiming in. I missed seeing your face today.
I hope I didn't.
And your lustful eyes at Brett Yormark.
Hey, just telling the people what they need to hear.
We'll see you tomorrow night. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to a comedy show tomorrow night. We might not have a show. It might be Friday. We'll see you next time. It's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!